instance is successfully running and we are able to access the application whatever running using this particular external IP address. Okay, so this is, if you see, this is complete virtual, the single machine. To map this particular machine, to make it through load balancer and cloud DNS, we need to do one more option. We need to bring this particular VM instance under VM instance group. Okay, so that one, if you come down, you can see instance group. Okay, so you need to click this instance group and click on instance group. Okay, create instance group. So here I will simply put backend server instance group. Okay, so here I won't select anything because I want this one. Here you can see three options: new manager instance group and a new manager instance group. Both are stateless and stateful, but I don't want anything. I need to create a VM instance group for existing one. So to do that, I will click this particular link and the region is US and I'm just leaving as default. So if you come down here, you can see select VMs, okay, virtual machines. So backend server test, which is we created. So that one I'm selecting and clicking OK. Okay, and then I'm not selecting any other thing. I'm just leaving as it is and clicking create. So this will create a new instance group here. So this instance group we will use in cloud DNS. So where we need to configure the cloud part. Okay, like for some DNS name. The DNS name, I will come up with a name. So for that particular DNS name, we will try to deploy this. Okay. DNS, whatever the services we have enabled, that we can able to see. Okay, so there are two services which we are going to use to make the application whatever we have built right in the VM instance, which is currently insecure, which means we can able to access it through HTTP only, not HTTPS. To make it HTTPS, we need to do load balancing and cloud DNS SSL certification that we need to do. So to do that, first we will go to load balancing. Okay, so once you navigate to the load balancing, click on create load balancer and I'm going to follow application load balancer HTTPS. Okay, start configuration. So two things you need to select. So this one, from internet to my VM services, which means anyone can able to access from outer world. Okay, and this one, and this one I'm leaving as a default. I'm clicking on continue. So here we need to give two things, front end and back end. So currently for load balancing, I will keep some name, simple load balancer. Okay, so this one is front end configuration. So for this, so from internet to my VM services, which means anyone from the world, like who are using mobile or anywhere, they can able to access my server. So through secured connection. So that one I am allowing, and global and regional I'm leaving as default. So here load balancer name we need to give. So I'm giving simple load balancer SSL purpose. Okay, and front end we need to configure. Front end means what? The people who is going to access my application from outer world, right? So how they can able to access. Okay, so this one I'm giving simply the same thing, front end IP access. Here how they can access, I want this application to be accessed through HTTPS. Okay, so I'm clicking protocol as a HTTPS. So this one I have selected, and the IP address you can see, right? That one I need to create a new IP address. Okay, this one I have created already, but now I will create a new one, create IP address. So that one I will keep for SSL purpose. Okay, so I'm creating a new IP address for this particular. So this will be like a static one. It won't be generated dynamically. Okay, so that one I have selected. Since this is HTTPS, right, the port will be always 443. If it is HTTP, it will be 80. So here we need to create a new certification, SSL certification, which will be provided by Google. So to do that, I'm clicking on create a new certificate. Okay, so here I will put SSL certification, and here two options are there: create Google Manager certificate, okay, and the domain. So the domain is actually what we can give. We can have the name as like app, okay, app.uk hyphen frames.com, frames.com, ukframes.com. Actually UK frames is my own domain, so from the domain I am just adding subdomain as a app. We can have multiple subdomains like app.ukframes, api.ukframes, like that many things we can have. For current tutorial purpose, I will be keeping the name as app.ukframes.com. So this will be my domain name. Okay, so I'm just clicking on create. Okay, so this one SSL certification is created. Okay, now this one we need to select enable HTTP to HTTPS redirect. Okay, then I'm clicking on done button, and here again we are going to backend. So front end means how people can access our service through load balancer, and from load balancer we need to tell which service you can access when people calling from outside. Okay, so that one we can create a backend service. Okay, so when I click that, I will get some options. So I will simply have the name as simple backend. That's it. And if you see here, the default selection backend type is instance group. Okay, here I'm not touching anything of this. So what I need to select in instance group, which I already created. Okay, this one I already created as part of instance group creation. So when I click that, you can see by default number it automatically came 80. If it is not coming 80, we need to make it as a 80. Okay, so remaining and all I'm just leaving as by default. And health checkup, it is a mandatory step that we need to do. Based on this only load balancer will be working on. Load balancer mostly will be like more useful when we have multiple machines, but right now we have only one machine, so we don't need to much focus on that. So for since it is mandatory, we will give the basic health checkup details. Okay, so simple health, that's it. Okay, so I'm just click on save. I'm just not modifying anything, I'm just clicking okay and create. So you can see simple backend service is got created, and I'm clicking OK. And rules, we don't need to touch anything on this. Okay, and then I can click on create. So right now the load balancer part that we are doing. So once this one is completed, right, we will get a unique IP address. So that IP address only we need to keep as a tracking. So that one only we are going to configure in Cloud DNS and same time in Netlify. So I already bought a domain, I was saying, right? I bought a domain in GoDaddy. So GoDaddy, once I bought the domain, I have configured that one in Netlify. The purpose in Netlify, I am hosting the UK frames, the main React application there. So the UK frames, it is managed by Netlify. There I have configured the manager servers. If you know already basics of GoDaddy, the manager servers are very important. So those control I have given to Netlify. So whatever the domain name configuration or new domain I need to add or whatever I need to do, right, everything I can do only in Netlify, because I already taken control from GoDaddy to Netlify through the manager servers. Those some server IDs and all I can get from GoDaddy. Okay, so that one. Right now, if you see, these two things were created successfully. Okay, now I will go inside one of the machine. So if you go the load balancer, the unique IP address got created. You can see this, right? So this is a unique IP address. Now what I will do, I will copy this IP address till 129. I'm leaving 443. Okay, and I'm coming into Cloud DNS. Okay, here I'm creating a new Cloud DNS. Here only what DNS we need to configure, the name that can be written here. Okay, see here I'm giving simple server. Okay, and DNS name. What DNS name? app.uk-frames.com, ukframes.com. So for this particular subdomain only, I am deploying this thing. Okay, if you're not doing for any other subdomain, you can directly give as ukframes.com. You don't need this app dot. Okay, so this one is done, and I'm clicking on create. So once create button is clicked, there will be two default things will be added by here defaultly. Okay, these are all like we don't need to consider. These are added by default by Google. Okay, so now we have to add the IP address we have copied from load balancing. So I click on add standard, and you see here the DNS name you can see app.ukframes.com. Okay, so here TTL unit you can see, right? I'm changing to seconds. So 5 seconds is enough for me. So I mean within 5 seconds I want things to be complete. Okay, so here I'm entering the IP address which I copied, or otherwise I will just remove it. I will select from here, select IP address. So when I do that, right, you can see the IP address which I created right now for SSL purpose, it is displayed. Okay, I'm clicking on this and select. So it got selected and create. So it got created successfully. So that's it, guys, from Google's cloud side. Now the same IP address we need to add into Netlify as a record. Then only this one will be working. Okay. So that one I will do now. So what I'm doing here, you can see this is my Netlify dashboard. Okay, so Netlify dashboard, you can see many domains which I bought already. Now I am clicking this ukframes.com. Okay, here if you see DNS records, there are two major records are there. This one for the main application. Now I want to add a IP address as a subdomain for one of my app. So I will click on add new record. Here you can see A. So that is A record is for IP address. Okay, and name, we don't want any name right now. We are having the app name as app, which means it will be app.ukframes.com. Okay, so value I should be keeping as that IP address, whatever I copied from there. Okay, and this time default time I will be giving 3600. Okay, so I will click on save. So once I click this, right, I will get an option below here. So you see app.uk-frames.com, and you can see the IP address whatever we have created, that will also be properly mapped. Now to make this one globally, it will take some time, like some 30 minutes or some 1 hour. Okay, so before that I will show you what main app that I am having, UK Frames. So this is UK Frames domain. This is a simple React.js application which is running on this particular domain. So now once this particular application, whatever we have configured right now for the subdomain, so that one will be up and running in very soon. Okay, so it will take some time because the DNS configuration from their side will take some time to make it work. Okay, so what I will do, this app, so this one application only we need. Right now this application is not accessible. Okay, it will be up and running in some time. So I will wait for a few more minutes, then I will try to access this application, then I will attach those things also. We are connecting again 45 minutes later. So now this application is successfully up and running, and you can see that domain name, right, app.uk-frames.com, and which is secure. Okay, so we have successfully deployed express.js application using Docker into the Google Cloud, and made as a secured website using SSL, load balancer, and DNS, cloud DNS. Okay, so the same concept will apply for front end and back end also, wherever the server comes. So that's all for today. So please comment your queries and whatever the feedback. It will be helpful for me to come up with other videos. So thank you, guys.